Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am KozMcKev, your host. This is for the week beginning with Friday, August 16th through the 22nd of August, 2019. So, what do we got today? Well, looking at the constellation, we'd go to the sky and we'd find the moon in the constellation of Aquarius if we're actually looking. And I know you people that are Western astrologers are like, no, it's in Pisces. It's not, though. If you looked at it, you'd go, no, that's actually in the constellation of Aquarius. And so what is that? Well, the thing is that we base Western astrology on seasons. We don't base it on actual signs of the zodiac that the planets are moving through. And they get all snickety with me when I say this. And so we're in the lunar nakshatra, or lunar mansion, known as Shatabishak today. And Shatabishak is symbolic of reservoirs and the circumference of our vision. And its ruling deity is known as Varuni. And Varuni is kind of deals with like almost intoxication, and deals with poisons and illnesses. Shatabishak's symbol is 1,000 flowers. And sometimes hard to cure diseases occur within this this particular portion of the sky. But there's a lot of association with astrology, astronomy, science. And the hardest thing is that for people with moon or rising sign here is that sometimes they are angry at people that really want good from them. They wish away well-wishers. But they're protected. They're like cloaked. A lot of things are concealed. So like Shatabishak rules traps. It can rule paralysis. It's extremely Vata, being in Aquarius as a zodiac sign. And it is, it's cold. It's ruled by both the North Node as well as Saturn. And so that's what I know about Shatabishak. So in Western astrology, we'd say the sun's in Leo. In Vedic astrology, we'd say the sun just moved into Leo. So, so double Leo. So this is kind of like the double Leo week as we go through the week, or at least by later today, the sun will be in Leo. And so in Western astrology today, we say we've got a Pisces moon, and so there's a great degree of sensitivity, a great degree of imagination. Sun being in Leo, we're concentrating on our ability to be leaders, to be performers, to be fathers or like fathers, leaders, parents, grandparents. Where the sun is moving into the nakshatra of Magha, and so it's in a Gandanta, it's in this knot. We're going from water to fire, and it's also like about growing up and being responsible. So we're having to like give away our just childish curiosity and say, well, I got to make something happen now. So that's part of this week. And what else? We've got Mars is moving into Virgo tomorrow in Western astrology. It's in Leo in both systems right now. Very powerful Mars. Venus is moving by tomorrow or today into the sidereal Leo. And so it'll be Leo in both systems, Venus. And then it goes into Virgo on the 21st, on Wednesday. And then, but, for the majority of this week, Mercury is going to be in Western Leo, Vedic, sidereal Cancer still. So those are the numbers. And without any further ado, sign by sign. Starting with you, Aries. Greetings, Aries. Welcome to your horoscope. So what I see happening with you is, Mars is moving into the house of the servant. So what kind of service do you offer? How's your health? This is a time to improve your health. And actually, malefics like Mars and Saturn do really well in the 6th house. And so there's going to be certain improvements you can bet on this week, but they're going to take effort. And they might even take help from an uncle or an aunt, or from your small pets, or other 6th house issues. healthcare, service to others, government work, all of this applies. And, Venus is going to move by Wednesday into your sixth house too. So it's like we move from our creative expression to a place where we're using our creative expression to give service to others. And you're still in your heart, you're still creating things, you're still dealing with children and all the other fifth house issues. And I suspect you're going to have a good week. All right. Greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. So, Uranus in the first house. Things are exciting, things are changing, things are moving. Venus moves by the end of the week from your fourth house, the things that are personal to you, that you love, into the fifth house. And one thing about this week, too, is like Venus is combusts the whole week, It's still combusts. It's still with the sun. And she just got out of the sun, like burning. And so she's like, it's like glazed pottery coming out of the kiln. There's this beauty. And so like when Venus and sun are exactly together, you're not able to really see Venus. And, seeing Venus is not always, because Venus hangs out near the sun. It's not always the easiest planet to see. It'll get as much as 47 degrees away, I think, from the sun, but that's it. Then she comes back. And so, it's important to look at these things. And so right now she's about to leave. She's been through the fire and she's about to leave. And then by Wednesday she goes into the western tropical sign of Virgo. As a mathematical equation, not as the actual constellation, which is still Leo, of course. And we should, that's not a great place for Venus in either Western or Vedic. I mean, in Vedic, the Leo part's fine, but now that it's going into Virgo in Western, we'd say it's debilitated. So why is that bad? Because what happens, it's good for you in that it's in the fifth house. So Taurus, you'll have a creative vibe. You'll be loving your kids. It's fine. Everything's going to be good. But what is going to change is sometimes when people are too picky in relationships, you can never be picky enough. No, it's like there's this constant discomfort because of perfectionism. And it ruins relationships because nobody's perfect. Nobody's got everything you want. You want to be in a relationship, you've got to be tolerant. And, the downfall of Venus and Virgo is intolerance. Yeah, can't do this. I've seen it before. Okay, so, greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. So, Mercury is in your third house, so that's a good place to be. It's still kind of overcoming the whole Mercury retrograde thing that happened a couple weeks ago. It's gone, we're all relieved, we're all glad about that. And but you're still plowing through stuff. And right now it's about neighbors, friends, siblings, especially younger siblings, communication, writing, working with your hands, all these things. That's where the action is for you. Since we've got a moon in your midheaven, you might be in the public this weekend. You got a lot of things to share with others, things to say. Sunday, Monday look good for a party day for you. Relationship-wise, things are going better now that Jupiter is direct, especially for women who are involved with men. Things should be improving in your relationships all around. I know, high fives, yay, hey, get happy. And, think about it, Maybe it's time to book a reading with KozMcKev. Yeah. And, okay, greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. And how are you today? I know, I'm supposed to tell you. I get it. Well, okay, so like sun's moving through your second house. That's about family. That's about your throat and lower part of your face. It's also about values, where your money is, how you're getting income. So those things are more in focus. Moon's in your ninth house. So this is kind of a lucky weekend, good weekend for travel. And it's like a lot of you are just getting the last hurrah of summer out. Some people have actually already started school already. It's a crime. It should be forbidden. I shouldn't say should, but it's like here in California, we tend to have a warm late summer, early fall. It can be some of the hottest times, and it's like, hey, don't do this to me. I'm not ready for school yet. And your health could be improving, working on your health, improving. And you've got a lot to say, you've got a lot to share with people. I see a lot more of a creative actions, working with your hands coming up this week with Venus and Mars together. That's worth celebrating. And you're working on the hard stuff in relationships still. That's true. And it's a lot of you carried past life karma with each other, and that's why you're in this fix right now, okay? And nobody needs to blame anybody. Just take responsibility, be the best person you can be. Forgive and love again. That is it. Forgive and love again. Well, greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. This is kind of like, this is grand finale of Leo week in the tropical western zodiac. And so, it's time to have the love poured on you. It's also time to look at family matters that really matter to you and any creative works you've done to put some value on them and to move them forward. Things dealing with your heart, you're feeling your heart open, you're feeling more positive, you're ready to move on. Your persistence with working on health issues is paying off. You should be doing better now. I mean, this weekend, it's kind of like for at least today and tomorrow, it's like the mysteries of life are kind of overwhelming, and you're not necessarily in your power, so just lay low, take care of business. Sunday and Monday look a lot better for you. There's some unpredictable things going on in your career life that you may get wind of, and you really got to work on your spiritual life. There's no two ways about it. That's going to make a difference. So, all right, you got a lot to say. A lot to feel. No, hello Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. So, on the Virgo tip, this is the last week of the sun transiting the house of losses, the house where you're more unconscious about things, and it's also the house of the ashram, of sleep and exotic adventures. I mean, I'll tell you, this Leo season for me, and I'm Virgo rising in Western, it's definitely brought on some wild dreams, and I've been getting deep into my subconscious about things, and it's been amazing. And so I'm trying so hard to be a good man, and it's I suppose it's working. And I mean, you've got a lot of energy. Like Mars is moving in your first house, so you become a lot more dynamic, and Venus is going to move in your first house by Wednesday. So you become a lot more appealing. You become a lot more of the sexier you. And this weekend actually looks romantic, so there might be some inkling this weekend of who likes you and what's up, and even the hard stuff. You're learning to work with it. And your heart is opening, it's transforming, and there's love from the past that's coming to you, and there's help in the social environment, and it's like keep paying attention to the messages of dreams. It's not over for you, and definitely watch your back. It's not everybody's got your best interest, but you're about to take control, take charge, and do it. And next week will be all about you. All right. Well, greetings Libra, and welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, life has been sort of a party for you. It's been social events, it's been a little bit of helpful friends, maybe older siblings have helped you, there's been some blessings, there's been some gifts. And now it's time to kind of get back into your personal space, maybe go on a retreat, a backpacking trip, and do some art, get some ideas of what kind of creative project you'd like to work on and what you'd like to bring to others. And that in itself can be completely transformational and wonderful. Your communications got better because Jupiter's in your third house direct now. I mean, the whole thing is just don't exaggerate. And you're pretty balanced. That's not your gig. You're always playing the modest role, the modest card. I mean, but what you're feeling inside, as far as parents, home, and family, it's like a little more austere, a little more deep and kind of melancholy and uncertain in some ways. So you need to have a little bit of fun. Working for a charitable cause over the next couple of days is good. I see Sunday and Monday as more for your frolic and fun, I guess, in some ways. And just being thankful, even during difficult times, will probably go a really long way over the next several weeks for you. Yeah. All right. Well, greetings, Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. So, this is a good weekend for you. It really is. You've got this creative juice. Your heart is open, and you want to make more music. You want to make more art. You want to do the things that really float your boat, turn you on, take you further than you've been before. And it seems like money's starting to come to you. This is great. This Jupiter direct in the second house is helping. It's helping with relationships with family, and it's a real turn on. And even though there's a lot of uncertainty and there's sort of an unconventionalness right now currently of how you relate, especially in romantic relationships, all due to Uranus, of course. And anybody who makes a Uranus joke, you're out. It's been done before. You're about as exciting as a graduation, which are not. They're the most boring effing things you could ever go to. Oh, more commencement. It's like, these are smart people. They don't, jeez. Anyhow, like your talents and skills, quick-wittedness, Scorpio, this is going to help you. Your social life, you're more of a darling. There's some dynamic that's working for you here, and I'd say be grateful for it and enjoy it while you can. Well, hello Sagittarius, and welcome to your horoscope. Well, it's happy. Things are happy this week, really. Jupiter's direct in your sign. You're getting benefits from it. Anything that you're doing creatively is likely to be seen in the public eye, that you're being rewarded for these talents and skills. It's a good time to learn a foreign language. It's a good time for travel. You're in a lucky space. You're in a heart space. You kind of want to know about these spiritual mysteries and secrets. I get it. There are no shortcuts. And, the path of the shaman is littered with really painful experiences, because you have to open up your eyes to a lot of things that are unpleasant, and as well as the pleasant things. You have to see the potential and you have to see the pain, and they both go together in the healing process. And so be aware of this. Family issues, money issues, they might be a little tight, they might be a little bit hard, but they're emerging. Something's emerging. And if you just keep in your heart, loving the spiritual life you have with your parents, I think, also Sunday and Monday will be good days for you this week. So we're looking forward to that. All right. And hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope. So, some things are limited. We don't always groove and flow on every single thing the exact way we would like it to go and expect, Winds of change, It's like you put the cards on the table, but then the wind blows them away, and you got to pick them up, and you got to start all over again and say, okay, that may not have been what it is, I really like the Hebrew word for the Holy Spirit is ruach, which actually means wind. And that's one of, besides like God is love, that's one of the God perspectives in the Hebrew is the ruach. And inviting that in, because like you look at some of these amazing geologic things in southern Utah, a lot of it's been formed by wind, carving those rocks, and it's amazing. And so know that you've been dealing with some heavy stuff, but that there's some relief. This weekend looks good for being in the neighborhood, dealing with family and home, and you're finding inspiration in through the creative process. You might surprise yourself, and that eventually you're going to get a more spiritual love in your life, a more spiritual kind of creativity that's going to work better for you, and that what had bogged you down what you were desiring may not be what you need. And so you have to kind of balance that out and think about that before you just jump into anything. Okay? All right. Well, that went over pretty good. Thank you for receiving that. Okay, here we go. Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope. So like Leo time's your opposite, and so it's a good time for romance. It's a good time for negotiation. It's a good time for diplomacy. And it's a good time for other people to tell you what they think of you and what you're doing wrong and all that stuff too. Because in Western astrology they call the seventh house the house of open enemies. Now in Vedic astrology in India and sidereal astrology, we actually say the second and the seventh house are both maracas. They're maraca houses, and it's like kind of funny. They're both dealing with Venus. Well, Venus originally was like the god of war. It wasn't Mars. And I mean, you can, those of you can see it. Do sisters squabble? Oh, heck yeah, they do. You grew up in a rough neighborhood like I do. There are actually girl gangs terrorizing men, mostly other women, though, and they do it. So it's like, the human condition is dangerous, is all I want to say. And this isn't in any way misogynistic. I mean, I'm fatherly. I love my daughter. I want her to get as far ahead in life as she possibly can, This is just to say that we need to be real with each other. To acknowledge somebody's potential for good, you have to also acknowledge their potential for evil. And it goes both ways. You can't acknowledge one gender's potential for evil and say, oh, this is toxic, this and that. We'll say, well, let's look at some of the good things so we can save those, because what we want to do is actually come together as equals rather than be separate and caught up in all these dividing issues. It's not to say that there's not privilege. All that does exist, and they do need to be addressed. But they should be addressed in a way that we can co-create and work together on creating something better, rather than just like, I'm so righteous because I'm a gender minority or I'm a this minority. I mean, it's not going to help you, get ahead. It's like, how well can we make alliances and lift each other up and get ourselves in a good place and acknowledge what gifts we have? And you're great about that, Aquarius. And I think that's what you're all about. I mean, right now you're probably in a more lusty place with Venus and Mars moving into your 8th house. I get that. Everyone deserves to lust a little every now and then, and they shouldn't be put down for it, because lust is a natural tendency. I think, if you had 3,000 eggs for a lifetime versus 3 million sperm a day, you'd probably have a different view on lust. I get that. You'd be more protective and selective, I suppose. So within your selectiveness and your protectiveness, let's talk about inclusiveness. Let's talk about negotiation. Let's talk about getting it together, that we can have more life and a fun time. That's what we want. More life and a fun time. Okay. Greetings, Pisces. Well, we're starting out with the moon in your 1st house along with Neptune this weekend. So you're vibing high. You're vibing high on the love. And Venus and Mars are about to come visit your 7th house. So it's like last of the red hot lovers, and there is going to be this love thing, and it's going to be kind of confusing too. It's like, oh, well, do I want to go this way or I want to go that way? And I mean, in some ways, when I think about it, like with Venus and Mars both going to be in the Maga Nakshatra in the sidereal zodiac, it's like, you need your ancestors for help. My grandmother recognized a woman that would have been, or a girl that would have been good for me when I was a teenager, a lot better than my parents would have. And it's like we could use matchmakers in our society. It could help. Because, I mean, I think it's better than maybe internet dating or social media, because there's core things that the elders recognize, and I think interface with each other. Just go to events, Don't lock yourself up behind the screen, although I appreciate you watching me today. But go to events. Jupiter's direct now, Pisces, in your 10th house. Career opportunities are opening up. You're going to do good. I mean, there may be some social obstacles. Just address them. Hey, this is a social obstacle. We could do better than this. Did you see how simple that was? That's all. Invite positive change. You might have some health issues you're working on. They're going to get better because you're better. And thanks for watching faithfully the Planetary Persuader. I want to see you here next week. Sit down with me. Ring the bell. Share this with a friend. Maybe even post it on your page. And I'll be with you next week. We're going to do this again, and we're going to have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Yay! A wonderful time will be had by all the peoples.
Mm-hmm.
All the peoples having a good time.
Good
Hanging out
times.
together, dead apart. And share each other's weird stories.
Kind of does. Kind of does. I'm kind of like looking at myself and I'm like,